children of the night. What music they make. They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Welcome to Final Guys, your Tuesday night favorite funtivity, where this is Friday the 13th, Eve. So I hope you all getting ready for this Friday. But to get you in the mood for a little horror, we're going to talk about a little guy named Beetlejuice. Me, you, and three of these fucking dopes over here. As always, I'm joined by Jason Betelgeuse. Is that how you spelled it?
I mean, that's his actual name in the movie, so
Okay.
I actually had to look it up to get it correct.
Wow. Jack John Belushi.
Food fight!
Like the pop her zits. Chad Hardballer Lutsky.
Wow.
And I'm the notorious BT Juice. And we're going to have a fun time, I think, tonight. I'm anticipating a very exciting conversation because I think there's a lot to talk about here.
I am very curious as to what you guys think about this. I have absolutely no clue how to predict what you're going to say about this movie.
Me neither.
I don't. I'm bi-curious about this entire thing.
I had one of those amazing theater experiences where, first of all, I was running late, so I sat down right when the movie started. Like, I didn't see a frame of trailer.
Oh, perfect.
And the person beside me is eating popcorn with her mouth open, one piece at a time from this bucket. And it was so, I was like, what are you doing? And then she gets this little baggie of candy and she can't get it open. So she's just crinkling it for like 5 minutes. She's trying to tear it with her mouth. And I'm like, fuck. So I missed like the first 15 minutes of dialogue because I couldn't hear shit.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I was in a packed theater at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By
Mine
the way,
too.
missing trailers. I say I've never been to a movie where every trailer I said nope, never, not in a million years. It's all kid stuff. There was nothing adult oriented.
Well, you were at Beetlejuice, right? I mean, the demographic here was a younger audience.
It's funny because my daughters and I had a conversation about this. They're like, "Well, this movie was made for us." I'm like, "No, assholes, you weren't even sperm when that movie came out.
This was made
It's
for
supposed
old
to be made for
bastards.
us." So
But Jenna Ortega's in it, so it's made for everybody.
my kids hate her.
I was pulling up to the theater, and a black cloud was like over the theater. Was parking my car. It started to pour. I luckily had a raincoat, like a windbreaker, and a hood, and so I got it like with one sleeve in. Got out of the car, put the rest of it on, chugged in. I was wearing shorts. My shoes and my legs were soaked. My jacket's soaked. I get to my seat. I saw all the stupid trailers. And I got a couple of seats on either side of me. I go through the whole thing. Freaking Nicole Kidman, AMC theaters, all that bullshit. And then, I mean, right as the opening credits are like to start, family of four comes and plops, and the big dad is the one like, you kids go and I'll sit next to the stranger. Plop. Elbows. I'm like, you got to be
Man spreading. After the movie was over, my youngest, who sat on the end of the aisle because she insisted, she was like, I was ready to pass out. She goes, the guy in front of me farted nonstop, and they were so bad. It was like getting mustard gassed for an hour and a half.
Man.
So I was happy where I was sitting in the middle.
Interesting experiences.
Before we jump in, anybody have anything special?
Well, you went underwater.
Oh,
I think he's announcing announcements. If anybody's got one.
The announcements.
Nope. I don't think so. I don't think I got anything coming up out of the ordinary.
Jack.
We've got a very special Monsterman coming up in a few days. We interviewed the Addams family.
Nice.
So probably have that out.
So you guys are on, you guys are all buddies now, huh? That's their second time on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've sent them books. We have volunteered to play dead bodies in the movie. So we're there.
If they need an alcoholic to sit at a bar for some kind of background shot, I'm in.
I think a couple of us are definitely qualified.
I'll tell you what, the cool thing about it was we've talked to them before, and when they came on, they like knew us, and it was really like chatting with friends of yours. Like, it was so
We
cool.
picked up where we left off.
They're so cool.
Nice.
Heck yeah, man. Did you get all 4 or just 2 or 3?
Parents.
We got
Okay. Joshua Barrio. Nothing related to ask.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh,
You're the man,
Joshua.
Joshua.
Oh,
thanks, man. Thanks, Joshua. Appreciate
I gotta get this kid my Venmo.
Give him my P.O. box.
Jason, you could use that money to go back to the theater when it's empty and then catch that 15 minutes you missed.
it. Dude, legit, the first 15 minutes, I had no idea what was said.
And I'm sure your brain was just screaming.
I was so angry. But I was going to say something because I do not hold back in situations like that. Like, I will tell you to shut the fuck up in public. I don't care. But as soon as I looked at her, I was like, that's the kind of woman that's going to have a meltdown. And then the manager's going to have to come talk to me. And then I'm going to get kicked out. And I was just like, I'm just going to wait.
Smart. Just let the lunatics be lunatics. All right. We need drinking words.
Got him.
Who's reading them?
Take a drink if you hear Jack say Ghost, Winona, or soundtrack. If Hunter says most, Bellucci, or Keaton. If I say... Wait, did you try to mute?
Did I cough right into it? I did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
I thought you were like laughing at one of the words
yeah.
or something.
No, but I did loosen up a good chunk in there.
It sounded
Get it out.
healthy.
RFK.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not muted?
Nope.
Wow. It's blinking.
Wow.
And maybe you're not going through your mic.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm on the other one.
Just
Yeah.
don't pull one of
But you
those
sound
tubins with us, huh? Because
I'm going to not touch the
Don't
mic
stand
settings. If I sound okay, I'm not switching mics because that's only going to lead to pain.
Yeah, you're fine.
You sound fine.
Okay, if I say Burton, Mary, or Goth, take a drink. If Letsky says Defoe, Train, or Snake. Or if any of us say the bonus words, Original, Ortega, and Beetlejuice.
Perfect. And I don't have a
Yeah.
drink. There's something wrong this
Good
week.
job, Sheridan.
All right. I need some news. Give me Jack Campese's award-winning news.
It's the news. Yay.
Next news is brought to you by Honey Mustard.
Honey mustard?
Honey mustard?
It's the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup of condiments.
Now he's underwater.
In other words,
I don't understand what's going on with StreamYard, man. This is
Yeah.
a consistent problem.
I'm underwater.
You're back.
You-
I
Not
like,
now.
like choice and candy, Chad. You're back. You're back. See, we get under a little bit and then we get saved. Pam
I don't
Anderson pulls us
get
out.
I'm back. Okay. Anyway, remember how recently I saw the Russell Crowe exorcism movie, and
Yeah.
I really have had it with exorcism movies. But recently, Mike Flanagan, who is working on the next Exorcist movie,
Oh, that's right.
said that he thinks his Exorcist it may be the scariest movie he's ever made.
Well, I
You know
mean,
what?
self-promotion's a thing.
It probably is, but let me tell you, man, if there's any jump scares, Mike Flanagan is the master. We've talked about this before of jump scares, without a doubt. He
Yep.
catches you off guard, and then freaking bam.
And they're not bullshit. It's not like a squirrel at the window.
No.
Yeah. Hey, if anyone else was saying that, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Flanagan has earned the right to say whatever the hell he wants in promotion.
But he is on course for a flopper. Everybody doesn't get to be
Don't
good
say that.
forever.
Don't say that. Don't
So you never
say that.
know.
Doing good.
It'll happen at some point, but whatever.
Yeah. When they adapt one of our books. It'll be the
When one of us has a chance to make some real money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right in the tank.
Then I saw that there's another exorcism movie coming out sometime called The Ritual with Al Pacino and Dan Stevens.
All right.
Hooah!
Who's Dan Stevens?
Dan Stevens is the guy who was in Abigail. He was the cop. He was in The Ritual. Was it The Ritual?
The
Or
Guest.
not The Ritual.
The
He was in The Guest. What's that movie he was in where he went to the island? It's a pretty good movie. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't remember. He was the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. He's been in a lot.
He was
Was he
in
just
that-
in one of the
the name of,
Godzilla
like-
movies?
Yes, he was just in the Godzilla movie. He was in that FX mutant show. He's good.
So when you said Dan Stevens, I immediately thought of Parker Stevenson. I don't even know if that guy's even alive anymore.
If Parker Stevenson and what's his name, Sean Cassidy, reunited for a exorcism movie, now we're talking.
Two short,
The
fat,
new,
bald
the
guys
new
in wheelchairs.
Supernatural boys.
Sean Cassidy still looks good.
Does he? Does he have the hair?
Flowing, beautiful hair. This movie's going to follow two priests, one questioning his faith, Stevens, and one reckoning with a troubled past, Pacino. Every time I get out, they pull me back in.
I mean, seriously. He's even too old to play a priest now.
So
Priests are usually shut away somewhere at this age.
if it's anything like that movie I saw with him and De Niro, that was that serial killer movie, dear God. But this is based on a real case. The Emma Schmidt, American woman whose demonic possession culminated in harrowing exorcism. You can actually look this case up. So, good. Look, Al Pacino's one of the all-time greats, but he also, I don't know about this, but Dan Stevens also quality.
Dan Stevens is legit.
Yeah.
If Pacino does the Dunkachino dance and song at the end of that, I'm in. Like a second version.
We'll say I would have lost my mind on this one, and then I saw who was in it, and I was like, okay, this is either going to be better than I think, or it's going to be so bad it's good.
Yeah. It's either for
All right.
us or Jason.
I'm reviewing it either way.
Now, I'm going to confess to you guys, there's a movie called The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Yep.
I don't know if
Corey
I've seen that whole movie. I
Corey
remember
Feldman?
it being on cable.
It's solid.
I just saw it at the drive-in in like February.
It's a good movie.
It held up.
I liked it a lot more seeing it when I was older. I saw it as a teenager, and I remember thinking,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like on HBO, and I kind of watched it for a little bit, but I don't know if I've never definitely watched it start to finish. Well, Peacock is going to have a series based on The Burbs, produced by Seth MacFarlane.
That's, well, I mean, he's got the comic chops.
I think that's a good property to turn into a series.
yeah, it's not
It could be.
beloved, but it's known. And the movies, like the setup for the story, you could definitely turn into like 8 parts.
Yeah. By the way, who's going to be the new brother Theodore? That guy is was such a singular type of person. I don't know.
I don't remember which one.
He was like the crazy uncle who was in the house with the crazy hair and talks
Oh,
weird.
yeah. Okay. Maybe Corey Feldman could be Corey Feldman.
He's the comeback kid.
His
He sings
acting
some
was
radio
bad.
The comeback kid.
He's unreal. He'll be at Schiller Theater, and I
Yeah.
swear to, if he's performing, this is going to make my whole life.
He's performing. There's no way in
Jack's-
hell I'm missing that.
Jack clearly has his finger on the Feldman pulse.
Dude, my Instagram, I get a Corey Feldman clip every day. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do too. I'm in the algorithm.
that poor kid. No self-awareness.
None.
0.
Who's he on? He's on tour with like Limp Bizkit or something like that, or somebody.
Blackbird
I don't know.
singing in the
Ironically, I'm sure.
night. Come on, we should sing Blackbird in honor of Corey Feldman.
Oh yeah, I sent you that, didn't I?
That's so unreal.
He's like a guy at karaoke. It's awesome.
How about
I
that
had-
guitar solo?
Yes,
Oh.
shredding.
Terrible.
Quick note. That Salem's Lot movie that finally got a scene released. Got a release date. October 3rd on HBO or Max, whatever you call it.
This year?
This year.
Oh, all right.
Giddy up.
Season.
So,
Very excited for that. Not really.
and the last piece of news is salute. James Earl Jones passed away. Darth Vader. What's his name in Conan the Barbarian? It's like Doom. Something.
Tulsa Doom or Thulsa Doom.
Tulsa Doom or something like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, the amazing heretic, Exorcist 2.
Yep.
Of course.
And he played Barney Hill in Betty and Barney Hill UFO Abduction. I forget the name of the movie. With Estelle Parsons, I think, was his wife.
And he was at Fenway Park in Field of Dreams.
They had a great career.
So now, I saw something on like Twitter or something. It was like, in heaven, God will now officially be voiced by James Earl Jones.
Until Morgan Freeman gets up there.
Yeah.
So it's not a long-term gig.
I have the I've had for years because it's on cassette, but I have the Bible on tape as read by James Earl Jones.
Wow.
Nice.
I saw a thing where he said that's the thing he's most proud of that he did in his entire career.
Really?
He does the whole Bible?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a big project.
Oh, can you imagine those chapters are like, this one begat that one, who begat that one?
Oh, I'd want to shoot myself.
Do you have the what's his name? Well, in the beginning there was
Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh gosh, let's not talk about him anymore ever again.
Please listen to his podcast.
How about the Princess Bride guy? Inconceivable
that this is happening. Crucify him. Are we done?
All the news is fit to print.
All right, thank God. Let's get into movies and books and things that Jason read.
We have such sights to show you.
All right. We're going to start out with Hardballer. You're going to be a leadoff hitter, Hardballer. So I want you to just hit a gapper. Let's get you on second.
Alrighty. Everything I saw was on Tubi. So
what a surprise.
Yep.
2024 disclaimer.
And fill that Tubi void for all the Tubi fans out there.
That's right.
The 6 people wondering what 70s movie is on Tubi.
No, more than that. They love the Tubi stuff. Come on. So
Tubi's great.
I watched Touch of Death from 1988.
Oh.
I threw this on because I was in the mood for something in the late 80s and was pleasantly surprised in the opening credits to find that this is written and directed by none other than Lucio Fulci.
Nice.
Wow.
I got a big smile on my face when I saw that. Character actor Brett Halsey, who's been in everything that you can think of, all the 70s and 80s shows and a handful of movies. He plays a guy named Lester who is a middle-aged bachelor searching out lonely widows so he can hook up with them and then like steal their jewelry and then eat them. This feels more like a Herschel Gordon Lewis movie than a Fulci movie. It even has comedic bits, but they're so soaked in grit that you're not sure if you're supposed to laugh or if this is just Fulci doing his worst. Very, very confusing. It's silly humor, but it's not like totally silly humor.
Does it make any sense? That's
Funnily enough, that is the picture that gets him busted, because that was the policeman sketch of Who to Look Out For, and it doesn't look anything like it.
Looks like Miss Piggy dressed up for Halloween as Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, it's terrible.
There's dismemberment and melting faces, heads in ovens, eye gouging, hacking,
a lot of foo,
bad makeup. These women he hooks up with, they're pretty, but then they have some wild thing wrong with them. Like one chick has sideburns and a mustache, like a real. It's
what?
I want to say light mustache, but it's like she's like a ginger, so it's like, but it's there. It's not like Peach Fuzz. She has
Yeah.
that mustache. It's never addressed. It's just very strange. And she also has hairy moles on her breast. And so
Moly, moly.
Hairy
why-
moles?
hairy moles. I don't know why these things are in this movie like this, but another woman, very good looking, has like this lip deformity that keeps looking different as the movie goes on. Jason showed a picture of her. You can barely see it in there, but it shows it close up. So it looks like a really bad cold sore, but you can see that it brings her lip up in different stages depending on the scene. Hilarious.
So it's growing and shrinking cold sore.
Yeah, just because of the makeup guy, whatever. No continuity.
Once again, are you trying to get us to not watch this movie?
I don't know. He had me at
It's
hairy mole titties.
So this movie has some creative kills that will both make you cringe and laugh. And of course, it being Fulci, there's eye horror, so that might rule you out, Hunter. You might not want to watch this.
I'll close my
But
eyes.
it's not the eye horror isn't like that bad. Not like you see in Zombie or some of his other stuff. Not that,
Those are gross.
Zombie is like top tier. How did you do that kind of stuff?
Right.
There's also a psychological horror parts of this that I'm not sure I totally understood, but I guess it mixes it up. Otherwise, straightforward slasher. The movie says 1988, but if it said 1978, I'd believe it. Looks older than it is. I'd
Might
love
have
to hear
kept
somebody
around for a
else.
decade before it got a release. You never know.
I don't think so. I mean, it also passes for 88, just low budget. But I'd love to hear someone else's thoughts. In this, if you're a fan of Microwave Massacre, this would make the perfect double feature. It has the same tone, not quite as silly, but it's gorier. It's not as silly as Microwave, but perfect. It would be a perfect double feature.
And if you're a fan of Microwave Massacre, rethink all of your life choices.
That's
No,
some
you gotta
serious.
see it.
That's some serious
I've
curation
seen
going
it.
on right there. You just pulled out a movie from the 80s and then double feature matched it with another movie. That's well done.
Big time.
Yeah.
That's horror podcasting right there, people.
That's right. And take my recommendation, man. Touch of Death on Tubi.
All right.
Lucio Fulci.
It's obviously making no sense whatsoever.
You just totally drown.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just dove right in the deep end.
I give up. I give up.
Hunter.
Who's going next?
Jason, you go, Jason.
I watched Trap, the new M. Night Shyamalan film.
Oh no.
So I was really curious if this was going to be the typical Shyamalan good movie, bad movie, good movie, bad movie. What was his last one now? I can't even remember.
Old.
Okay, so then this should be a good movie. Well, I'll say this. Well, first of all, as you saw this, didn't you, Jack?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it, but nobody saw it.
Okay, compared to Old, this is high art. So there's that. Like this is light years beyond Old.
Compared to High Art, it is.
Honestly, it's a tale of two halves. So Hartnett is great in this, by the way. He's phenomenal, kills it. What you see in the trailers of them in the concert and him trying to escape as the police have kind of walled him into this building is only the first half of the movie. That first half is really good. Really good. I dug it. Him trying to figure out why he's seeing so many police officers there. Him trying to get information from people without sounding alarms and trying to figure out how to get out of there. All extremely well done. It's once they leave the building that the movie really falls off a cliff. It doesn't become like total garbage. It's not like it doesn't become Old where you just cannot believe what you're watching. It doesn't turn into that. But man, it just because they're trying to put like twist after twist in, not necessarily even giant, maybe not like a story twist, but like a twist in the narrative. Like, okay, we're all in this building and now we're not, and because this big thing has happened. So more like that.
Right.
But none of them after they leave the building really work for me. And a lot of it has to happen because the cops who are there to catch this prolific serial killer are doing things they would never, ever do that allow him to keep going.
Right.
So that's kind of my biggest problem with it, is my problem with almost every M. Night movie. The writing eventually fails it, and that's what happens here. He, again, can shoot a movie. The movie looks good. He is a really good director. But damn, I just wish he would maybe get a co-writer to be like, no, we can't do that because that's dumb. Or, hey, this dialogue is really clunky here.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe I don't know what happened here, that the dialogue wasn't nearly as bad in this as like old. So I don't know if maybe somebody of Hartnett's clout could be like, yeah, I'm not saying that. I don't know, but it's not bad. It's not old bad. It's okay. I actually really liked the first half of this.
I heard that his daughter plays the pop star in it, and that
Yes.
is really heavy on the concert footage.
Yeah, like this is a promo for her.
Yes, it is very heavy on the concert footage. And her character is another part of the movie that I have a problem with. Not so much her character, but the whole thing is Hartnett. But there'll be like a lot of this character who then just, from another character who will just disappear from the movie. And then somebody new comes in and takes their place as like the secondary character for the next 15 minutes. And then they're out of the movie. And then somebody else comes in. So like at one point, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like 5 or 6 characters that just keep replacing each other. Like if I was watching this on So Bad It's Good, I would think they lost the actors because they had to go back to work because they're just out of the movie, and they were a huge part of it. So
wow.
yeah, and again, it starts about halfway through. They start character hopping, and it's just weird, but it's worth a watch. I wouldn't pay like the $20 for it or anything that it is right now, but I'd be curious what you guys think.
Forward the $20 we got earlier, and one of us will go, and it will cost us nothing.
I didn't see it, but I did watch. Our buddy Johnny Recap did he absolutely hated this movie, and he did a pretty hilarious recap of it. And so I did watch that because I figured I probably wasn't going to watch the movie anyway. Didn't have much of an interest. But
the first trailer I saw was great, and it actually had me interested in the movie. But
Me too.
it's all footage from the first half.
Good for him
After that,
showcasing his daughter. Nothing wrong with that. Good for him showcasing his daughter.
I actually have a lot of respect for the way he makes these movies, even if they're not great. I think he funds them himself. Like I don't know if he goes out and gets financing or if he pays for it. But the fact that he's including family who are doing music and acting, and that's interesting. I like when people do things outside of the regular Hollywood system. I just wish he had a writing partner.
Oh, just like Rob Zombie, I wish he would get someone else just to write the script and a producer to go, your wife may not be in this movie.
Your hatred of her is so wild. I think
It's
she's
just,
fine.
if she was any good, anybody else would have hired her. She's been around for 20 years, and not a single director has asked her to do a
She's
thing.
too classy for Hollywood, man.
Yeah, man. All right, Jack Bellucci.
Sit down for this one. The title of this movie is Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting.
Yeah, you're rubbing your notes on your like.
What
Now
the
we
hell
know.
just happened?
We know it's not your mic. It's definitely the computer mic. Because did you have notes on your computer?
Yeah, I put a piece of paper over there.
Yeah, it was going.
DJ
we didn't-
Scribble.
Okay, well, we know where the mic is.
Exactly.
Holy shit. Enjoy, everyone.
That was awesome.
Now, let me say that again. The movie is called Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person.
Okay.
It's a good thing you repeated that because we couldn't hear shit.
Yeah.
Now, a couple weeks ago, I had watched a French vampire movie.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have watched 2 French vampire movies. This is French-Canadian, I believe. This is a movie about vampires. Rules are a little bit different. So there's a family of vampires, and the daughter is hesitant to kill anybody. So they feed her with like bags of blood. But they get to the point where they're like, look, you've got to learn to do this yourself. And so they sort of force her out to live with her cousin. And hopefully she'll get to the point where she's got no choice, but she's got to feed and start killing people. But she has trouble doing it. And then she ends up going to suicide like prevention meeting, and meeting a guy there who's thinking about killing himself, and they started to come to a deal where like maybe he's willing to give his life for a good cause, and they could help each other out. This movie is, it's not a flat out comedy like What We Do in the Shadows. It's because it's got plenty of drama and some horror in it. I'd call it like a dramedy. I didn't know what to expect going in, and I am happy to report this is a delightful movie.
Really?
I loved it.
Nice.
It's it's charming. Like, I felt good. It's really good filmmaking. Like the camera work, the cinematography, the acting. They dealt with I've seen this kind of topic before in vampire movies, but they just great characters. It was funny when it needed to be. It kind of dealt with the darker, heavier tones appropriately, but it never got too dark that it was just a depressing movie. And it had, I wasn't sure how it was going to end. And a friend of mine also saw it, and the two of us were like, I really enjoyed that movie. Like, I just sat there and I was like, and I was watching like a quality movie. Like, we watch so much garbage for this show that I was like, wow, I genuinely enjoyed that movie as a movie, not just like, oh, this is good for a horror movie. Like, this is a good movie. So I'm going to say, it's subtitled. This is not going to be for anybody, but if you're looking for a really, really fun watch, and this sounds like something you might be willing to check out, it's got my thumbs up.
Wow.
But what's your thumb up in? Don't answer that. What was the other French vampire movie you watched? What was the name of that one?
The Vortilac.
Vortilac. I just got a screener for that. I'm going to watch that for bloody good screens for next month.
Cool. Let me know what you think.
I'm looking forward to it.
This, I believe, was my 19th vampire movie.
Out of control, Jack.
Wow.
You can hit 50 before the end of the year.
24 is my goal.
All right.
I'm going to hit that easy. You got Salem's Lot and Nosferatu.
Am I
All right.
muted?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're a little underwater now too. It's your turn.
Yeah, I was. I think I switched mics on accident just now.
You
I wanted to ask Jack if everything you said reminded me of. Shut up, Jason.
You sound awful, dude.
Okay. Is it
your
like
wife threw you in the closet?
Is it like that miniseries End of the Effing World? Have you seen that? Because you made it sound like it was kind of like that.
I never saw that, but Chad, I think you should give this movie a shot. I think you might like it.
All right. Well, I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener. I wanted to. All right.
I don't know why anybody listens or watches us. It's
By the way,
catastrophe every week.
It's not every week, and things happen.
Jason is such a freaking.
All good.
Oh my God! I can hear something.
By the way, the mistakes are the best part.
You're right. You're right.
I think people look to our show going, when are they going to fuck up? When can we make fun of them?
That's the drinking game.
Exactly.
Chad just bailed.
Chad's gone. It's all gone to hell. All right. I went to the Mahoney Drive-In. They have this Thursdays. They do.
I got a Mahoney ding.
Nice. So Thursdays, they have Thursday Thread Up. So this is where they play movies where the owner and the manager, these are things they like, but they know it's probably not going to be a big draw on the weekend. So this past Thursday, they played 1974's Demented, which is a take on the Ed Gein tale, the Wisconsin cannibal killer.
How many freaking movies are based on Ed Gein?
I know. The crazy thing is, if you watch this movie, you're going to be like, this looks really familiar because it came out the same time as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and both are drawing from the same well of material.
You said 74?
I think 74.
Could it have been 80?
No, this is 70s. It came out the same year as Texas Chainsaw.
There's so many movies called Demented.
That is a big issue with the movie called Demented because I think there's 400 movies called Demented. So
Chad's in the chat now.
Oh, sorry. You know what?
There he is.
It's Deranged.
It's Deranged. Yeah, sorry. I keep calling it Demented.
Your audio is still deranged.
Not mine.
No, you're.
I'm deranged. So anyway, it's deranged. Sorry, I
Got
was
it.
doing this all week long talking about this movie. So it stars this guy, this older fella living on his farm with his mama, who's not doing too well, and he's very addicted to mama. And one day she dies. She's a big Bible thumper, and she's taught him all his life that women are nothing but whores who want your money and will give you syphilis and all kinds of things. So this is the kind of stuff he has in his head.
Sounds like
And-
JD Vance.
After mama dies, he misses mama terribly, and he starts hearing her in his head. And one day she says, "Come get me, bring me home," a year later. So he digs up mama, brings her home, and then he starts murdering people to peel their flesh off to add it onto mama's rotting corpse so she looks a little bit better. That guy, the killer, is the old man from Home Alone.
Oh my God!
Really?
Yeah, the old man shoveling outside, the neighbor.
This
That's
is
him.
It's the prequel to Home Alone.
Yeah. So this movie is funny as hell when it wants to be funny. It's written and directed by Alan Ormsby, who, if you watch Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, he was the acting troupe leader who Jack and I met one year. So yeah, there's a lot of comedy in this. In fact, this is mostly a comedy, but then there were kind of some gruesome moments. This is a budget of 47 cents, I think, back in the day. But there is he meets up. His mother tells him, you should go see, she names a woman's name, we'll say Dolores. Only see Dolores. And he's like, why should I see Dolores? And she says, because she's fat and you can trust fat ladies. So there's a lot of fat lady jokes in this movie and people laughing about it. But the fat lady in question is the house mother from Black Christmas.
Mm.
And
Okay.
she's trying to, she's seeing her dead husband, and there's a seduction scene of a seance with her dead husband telling
Dang.
the crazy guy through her to bang her because she has needs. It's unreal. I had such a good time with this movie, man. I was shocked. I thought it would just be crap.
It's been a while, but I've seen it, and I know that if you're looking for something outside of some of the stuff that you were talking about, if you're looking for something that's really accurate to the real story, as far as who Geen killed and stuff like that, this is up there with one of the best for that. And
It's more accurate than a lot of the other.
oh, for sure. And all that. What's his name? Tom Savini did all this stuff in here. This is one of his first movies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a total blast. Get your deranged on.
So demented.
Shut up.
Dude, I was like, I'm never going to find this. There's so many movies called
I was
Deranged.
screaming in the green room. I had been in there for 5 minutes.
Were you enjoying the bagels and hot coffee?
No, I was too busy being frustrated.
Our green room was so nice. All right. Well, now that you're back, hit us up.
Yes. Okay. I think we've all seen this. Maybe not Jason, but I watched David Cronenberg's Shivers from 1975. It's over on Tubi.
Tubi.
This is the third time I think I've seen this. I saw it in the mid 80s. I saw it again maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. And it's one of those movies that I just love more and more each time I watch it. It's I guess that it didn't do well when it first came out, and Cronenberg even lost his apartment over it because people were not happy with the film that he made. I think it's great. The premise is, I think it'd make for a great book and for a great remake, but I would like to see him at the helm. But there's a certain grittiness to the 70s thing. There's not very much music in here either, so that lends some creepiness to exactly what's going on, which is basically a apartment complex or whatever is out on an island, and they have their own coffee shop, restaurant, doctor, and all this kind of stuff. So it's this community out there, and one of the scientists has developed some kind of parasite that he wants to use to eventually be as like an organ transplant, where it can eat your liver and then just take place of your liver. But he also finds that it makes for a great aphrodisiac, this parasite. So it's like an aphrodisiac / venereal disease because it passes from person to person. And right off the bat, this thing is happening. And it's very nonchalant with these doctors and the way they talk about it. Their apartment complex, their little village here, is being taken over by this thing, but it's so not climactic. And that's part of what makes this such a weird movie, is that this hardcore stuff is going on and nobody is like really freaking out about it. And I don't know if that's because the way that some of the stuff is shot, the dialogue, or the lack of music. But yeah, the goal of this parasite, and one of the doctors eventually, because he thought this is kind of cool, is to just develop this massive orgy. And so we watch as these people succumb to this via this parasite. It's one of the best body horror movies, and probably one of my favorite Cronenberg's, up there with there's so many, The Fly, The Brood, Videodrome, but yeah. So it's a great movie. Jason, have you seen this?
I think this is one of his I actually haven't seen. I don't know how this escaped me.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Last time I saw it was a few years ago on network TV. It was flicking around.
Oh, geez.
Gosh. They must have hacked a lot of this, because these some of these chicks in here are pretty horny, man. And there's quite a bit of nudity in here. But if you're a body horror fan, this is a must-see. If you're a 70s horror movie fan, or just looking for something completely different you have not seen before, check out Cronenberg's Shivers.
It's a crazy-ass movie. Like it
is. Great concept.
While I'm working tomorrow. I could use a good orgy while I'm half paying attention to a Zoom meeting.
Got a cool ending too.
All right, Jason.
I actually did not read anything this week. I didn't finish anything this week.
Well, I sent him a book, and it's we're done. We're done reading.
Yep. I'm over it.
Killed it.
I started playing a game called Forewarned that was on sale on Steam. Actually, maybe it still is. It still is. It's $8. This is like multiple other games I've played in the last 2 years, where you basically are ghost hunting. And then you try to exorcise the demon if you can figure out what it is based on the evidence you can gather, like other electronic disturbances. Can you hear it? Like, what's it called? EVP?
Yeah, EVP.
Like
Yep.
So there's like a bunch of these things. You take all these tools in while the ghost is kind of hunting you down. You have to survive and get evidence. And then when you figure out what the ghost is, there are certain things you have to do in a ritual to try to banish it. And if you do that successfully, you get a bunch of money. And then you can slowly start buying better equipment for detecting what the spirits are. This is exactly like the game Phasmophobia, which I talked about on here, and Demonologist, which I talked on here. But this one has a little more depth, so it's fun. Like, for $8, this is a freaking great game, and I love it. I've only played it twice so far, but I've really enjoyed it both times. So
I was going to say, did you finish it? But no, not after 2
times. No. God, there's so much in this. It's going to take months. But it's going to be pretty much the same gameplay doing it. It's just going to be if I'm a completionist or not with it. So
I need enough money to buy REM pods.
A lot of good scares in this too. So if you're somebody who jumps easily at scary games, this will definitely do it.
That looks cool.
Yeah.
You want to hunt for ghosts? Just go into Jack's house right now. There's a lot of ghosts there, right?
Demons.
Demon farts.
I went to the movie theater, and Jason, this might have been the movie you should have saw instead of Trap. I saw Blink Twice, which is the Channing Tatum movie that's out that Zoe Kravitz directed.
Yeah, I saw a couple of trailers for this.
I have no idea what this is.
So this is Channing Tatum's like a tech billionaire guy who's got like his own island, and I think her name is Naomi Aki, and the girl played Maybe in Arrested Development. They're like two caterers at an event, and they managed to get into a party with them. And then Channing Tatum takes his whole posse back to the island for, basically vacation mode, luxury, partying, decadence, all that kind of stuff. But once you get there, something sinister is happening. Gina Davis is there, and she's collecting everybody's phones. It's like, no, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it's kind of encouraged and stuff. So there's like a "this is too good to be true" kind of situation going on. Zoe Kravitz's first movie. This is a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's borderline horror, more kind of a thriller thing. I think Zoe Kravitz could have leaned more horror if she wanted to. There's plenty of stuff for the horror fan, but the mainstream audience, I think, can handle it. Channing Tatum's really good in it. Haley Joel Osment is in this. Let's see, who else? Simon Rex, Christian Slater, Kyle MacLachlan.
Got a good cast.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
This is a good movie. So if you're looking for something to see in the theater, I would suggest it. And it's probably, I don't know how much longer it's going to be in the theater, but definitely when it comes out, for streaming, you should check it out. It's a good watch. And Channing Tatum's just very good for this role.
Is this her first movie? It's not her first movie, is it?
First directing.
Zoe? Okay. Do you guys know who her grandma is? Lenny's mom?
Oh, the mother from the Jeffersons.
Well, the neighbor that's married to the white dude.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good old Lenny. I love Lenny Kravitz, man.
I'm surprised I haven't heard of this movie with a cast like that. That's surprising.
It was in it was in the trailers for like every movie.
Yeah, the trailer was
months.
like that and Speak No Evil. I saw it like 1,000 times.
I haven't seen a trailer for. No, I did see the Speak No Evil trailer.
Oh my God. I saw the Speak No Evil trailer like before every movie for the past 6 months.
And then anyone who's seen the original was like, why did you show every twist and every plot point?
Everything but the last scene is in that trailer.
Yeah, ridiculous. Dopes. Well, after I finished watching Deranged, we were getting ready to start our cars up, and old Virgil, who runs the Mahoning, he says, "Hey, everybody, here's a sneak double feature if you want to stay." When he was going through video store aisle one day, he saw Deranged, picked it up because he thought it was the movie that we just saw, the 1974 Ed Gein Deranged. What he got was a 1987 version of Deranged, starring porn star Veronica Hart. Now, Jack and Chad, we're the three only who might know who Veronica Hart is. I saw, you didn't show the credits or anything, and I saw it and I go, is that Veronica Hart? And I'm like, I am such a degenerate. Like, she hasn't been in porn since 1983.
Click on her. I need to see her. Her name doesn't.
Yeah, she used to do remember back in the 70s and early 80s, they would try to make movies with just happen to have, banging in it. So they would always bring her out because she had some acting chops. But I'm thinking, I don't know how this is going to go in a real honest to God mainstream movie. She is in 100% of every shot of this movie. And she plays a woman who in the beginning sees her husband off on a business trip, goes to a baby shower because she's going to have a baby. And then, boom, she's in her house, her apartment. A masked intruder attacks her. And they fight, struggle, and she kills him. And then her mind snaps. And for the next hour and a half or hour and 20 minutes, she's within one of 3 rooms in the apartment, going round and round and round, seeing things. And you don't know what she's seeing and who's coming out of the apartment. Are they really there or not?
Really?
And there's scenes where she's screaming and screaming on the phone in agony and pain. And then she just walks over and there's a psychiatrist sitting there and she's on the couch. And she's talking about her deep feelings. There was emotional switches. I couldn't believe they had a porn star doing this, and that she was the best actor in the entire damn movie. So it's weird as hell. I mean, I'm not going to suggest this for regular folks, but if you're slightly deranged, you like old school porn, I think you're going to like this movie. It was way better. And
sign me up.
She did get naked a few times because most of the time she's wearing maternity clothes, but every now and then she changes into something else.
So I just did a little experiment there. Your voice went underwater for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And while you were talking, I said, really? And once I said, really, you came back.
It jacked it back up.
So I'm wondering if the next time somebody goes underwater, somebody else engage your microphone. That might be.
Just do a Tourette's thing?
Huh?
Dick licker, and then it'll snap it back.
Yes.
Yeah.
there you go.
Up. Gotcha.
Reach in the water, pull your buddy out.
Yeah, man, save us. I think
I like
Jason
to just
is
cough into the mic too.
Jason is going to hang himself after this episode.
I don't know if I have enough rope, but see if I can get a belt.
Yeah, you might be too tall. You need
Toten will
really
send
high
you a rope.
Yes, please send me 6 feet of rope to my P.O. box.
It'll be rope used in some like movie. It'll be awesome. All right, so yeah, if you like the original Deranged, check out another version of Deranged, and I don't know where you can find it. It's probably on Tubi. It looks like
Another version of Deranged or another movie called Deranged?
well, another movie, another version,
So it's not
of Derangement.
it's not Ed Gein. then.
No, it's Veronica Hart
Right.
having some mental issues in her apartment, and I think her daddy raped her. I gotta watch it again. I was starting to nod off at one point. I was like, "Oh, Dad touched her."
On a
Okay.
side note,
All right, are we done?
I'm done.
Yep.
All right, let's get to, and I'm going to say it twice: Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
You know,
Oh,
you
Donna.
just did that thing with the I'm only going to say it twice. Every single YouTuber that did a review of this movie starts off their video with Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Oh, I better not say it again. And I'm like, for God's sakes, people, somebody get a new shtick.
I said Bloody Mary 400 times in the mirror. By the way, kudos for Donna Holland saying that we'd send you the rope from the movie The Rope. That was a deep cut right there. Good for you, Donna.
It's a good movie.
All right, who wants to explain this 30-plus-year-old sequel?
My God.
do we need to?
Well, there's like 17 stories in the movie, so
It's just it's the sequel to Beetlejuice.
Yeah, get to the core.
It's 30 years later. Winona Ryder has a kid. Husband is probably dead, but missing. They, I guess, go back to their hometown. Winona Ryder has her own paranormal TV show because she can, like, speak to spirits.
Mm-hmm.
They go back to the town where the mother is. Her husband has... I won't get into too much.
Well, you couldn't include a sex offender in the movie, so you had to kind of run him out.
What is the Beetlejuice's wife is a like ghosty demon that sucks souls. She's coming after Beetlejuice. Meanwhile, Jenna Ortega and Winona Ryder get into some trouble in the involving the afterlife and end up needing Beetlejuice's help at the same time trying to avoid his problems.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Were all your theaters packed?
Yeah,
I went at 11 a.m. on Monday, and it was probably 3/4 full.
On Monday.
11 a.m. on a Monday. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
This movie made over $100 million this weekend. It made a shitload.
They
like
were showing
150
it in
or something.
theaters at a time, and all three were packed. It was crazy. This in this area, usually if you go, there's 20 people. You're like, oh, that's pretty packed. So, Jason, what'd you think?
Man, I've been struggling with this. It's Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice, so I love that because I think Beetlejuice is such a weird ass film that they've been talking about doing a sequel forever, and I was like, I don't know how you could do it because it's so strange and it's such a product of its time.
Yeah,
and I loved him. I actually really did like the look of most of this movie. I thought they did a good job using practical and CG to kind of do some wild stuff, so that was fun. Some of the jokes were really funny. But the story... So as weird as Beetlejuice is, the original one is just the story of two families, one dead, one living, in the same house, slowly coexisting with a
More
demon
intimate.
who's barely in the film. Like, Beetlejuice is barely in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
This, they decided, well, that first one was simple, so let's get 17 different scripts, mash them together for Beetlejuice 2, so that no single story actually gets enough play to work. If you cut Beetlejuice's wife out of this, literally nothing changes.
That doesn't drive the story, the plot, nothing.
Nothing. The main villain of the movie doesn't show up until 3/4 of the movie is over. It's strange. So the story is bad. Winona Ryder's character is not the character from the first movie. It's just completely like Lydia Dietz. I mean, she's playing Lydia, but her character does not behave in the same way at all. They kind of try to explain it a little bit. I don't know, man. I'm so back and forth on this. I thought it was okay. I liked it well enough. It's not like I left disappointed or anything. But it was one of those where I was thinking about the story, like, holy shit, man, this was a freaking mess. And my theater, by the way, reacted to literally nothing. Even things I thought were really funny, dead silence. It was strange.
Mine too. Nobody
Dead
laughed
silence.
ever in this movie, which is
I was like, did you guys watch the first Beetlejuice? Because this musical number that you hate here is just out of the first movie, just in a different location.
Yeah,
so
different song.
It was strange. So I liked it. I didn't love it. The story just had really big problems. It's dumb to say for a Beetlejuice movie, but Jesus Christ.
Speaking of Jesus Christ, Jack, same initials.
My son. I actually watched Beetlejuice in the morning and then went and saw this and to refresh my memory. I've seen Beetlejuice a couple of times. I like it, but I don't like watch it every Halloween or hold it up on some pedestal. But I enjoy it. I think Michael Keaton's The Riot, Tim Burton, Pee-wee's Big Adventure is my Tim Burton movie.
Pagey Mr. Herbert.
But like I said, I like it a lot, but it's not like sacred to me or anything. So I was happy to roll into this, but wasn't like, I'm also not so like, they're not doing it right. I was like, let's see how they do. And it started off, I think, a little bit weak. They were trying to lay a lot of ground. As Jason said, is very convoluted. There's a lot of storylines and characters and things like that. But I thought second half of the movie, they started to really fire on all cylinders. It got funnier. Some of the musical stuff kicked in, which I thought was really funny. It got funnier as it went. And then it just was kind of this, it ended in kind of this fun free-for-all that, it didn't wrap up everything. But I came out of it and, like, to the folks I work with, I was like, yeah, I enjoyed it. You should definitely go check it out if you like the first one or you want to check it out. I liked it. In some ways it's a little easier to digest. I don't know, that's not the right word, but like the first one is such a Tim Burton thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is like easier to just kind of sit back and watch and not think and just be entertained by.
You don't think about the story.
Yeah, if you don't think about the story and just but I thought it was pretty fun. And like I said, there was some stuff that like at the beginning was dragging for me and then it kind of picked up.
All right. Chad, did you go see this?
Yeah, I saw it. You guys might be surprised that okay, so I had low expectations going in because there's a certain feel, like Jack just said, it's not just that it's a Tim Burton movie, but it's a Beetlejuice movie. And so there's not a lot of stuff that you can stand next to a movie like this, except for maybe Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. They just have this feel to them. Maybe not so much Nightmare Before Christmas, completely different type of thing. But, and then you got Danny Elfman doing the music for all of these. So I had low expectations, and I knew that this was, this could be easily done as a cash grab for everyone involved. But I thought it was great, man. I really enjoyed it.
Look at this.
Yeah,
hell out of me.
It's not really my type of this. It's not really my type of movie that I would, I probably just would have waited much, and then maybe if it was on one day, I would maybe watch it. I am a big fan of the first one, but I've only seen it once or twice, and I haven't seen it in decades. So I'm not like a huge fan. It was just like, Pee Wee's Playhouse too. But I saw a lot. I saw some Ed Wood in this. I saw Big Fish in this. I saw some Pee Wee in this, and of course Beetlejuice. But if you are looking, to me, by the time I was done with it, or even halfway through, if somebody's looking to relive like a late '80s, early '90s Tim Burton moment, I thought this did a great job of capturing that, everything about it. And so, yeah, you it had dreamy black and white stuff. It had the crazy claymation, stop motion animation stuff. I thought they handled the pervert guy. I can't remember, Jeffrey Jones, really well in here. Like removing. Well, I don't want to give it a spoiler, but yeah,
he's in it without being in it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a good movie. I was surprised.
I'm so shocked I can barely get my thoughts together right now. So I walked out of that movie with my daughters, and I just looked at them and I said, that was the definition of hot mess. I said, that was literally idea vomit, just all over celluloid.
Idea vomit is a great description.
Yeah, it's true.
It committed a cardinal sin. You've got a movie called Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. It's one of the most exciting, strange, fun characters ever created, and it's fucking boring for an hour. I mean, I was like, I don't know how much longer I could take. I was actually starting to nod off. The last 20 minutes, I'm like, this is what I wanted for an hour and a half. That last 20 minutes should have been from the start. We don't need to. Winona Ryder's script must have just said, look befuddled. Everything. Look befuddled. Say 3 lines, look befuddled. I mean, I could not stand Lydia in this movie.
It's not the same character. Like,
no.
She looks the same, and it's the same name, but it is absolutely not even close to the same character.
Did you expect her to act as a gloomy, rebellious teenager at the age?
She was acting as a gloomy, rebellious 55-year-old, which was pathetic.
It was like her intelligence. Like she dropped like 50
I love the venom
IQ
in
points.
Hunter's voice when he says that.
Because it's dumb writing by people who really know what the hell they're supposed to be doing. So, and you've got Willem Dafoe doesn't need to be in this movie. Monica Bellucci doesn't need to be in this movie.
Hold on, can we say something? I agree with you that Monica Bellucci's role is, you could pull it out and be different. However, the number one problem with this movie is there's not enough Monica Bellucci in this movie, because she is freaking gorgeous, and Tim is reminding you that he's dating her.
Is he dating her?
Yes.
Oh, but I mean, her character.
That's why she's in the movie.
Drives nothing.
But she is.
Did he just tack that on when he started dating her? He was like,
Done.
you're in the movie.
I was like, every time she was on, I was like, I could watch 3 hours of this right now.
I mean, yeah, she's drop dead gorgeous. But she does nothing. Willem Dafoe does. Willem Dafoe's funny.
Willem Dafoe does not need to be in this movie.
But doesn't need to be in the movie.
He adds
he
nothing to the story.
But I freaking love Willem Dafoe.
I do too.
In everything.
I do too.
In everything.
But his character's dumb.
But we can get into in spoilers. Her husband, Winona Ryder's husband.
Oh, Justin Theroux.
Yeah, we can get to him.
I was missing Otho. I think that's what we needed. But
we could have used some Otho. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we could have used a ton of Otho. So yeah, I just think there are parts. Danny DeVito. When I saw Danny DeVito, I got excited. I said, "Who's grosser, him in this or is Frank on It's Always Sunny?" I think Frank is still grosser. Love seeing him in there. Like I said, the last 20 minutes was what I wanted, but it just took too long to get there. So I enjoyed that part, but I will never watch. Like, I've watched Beetlejuice at least 10 times. I will never watch this movie again.
I've seen the first one a lot.
And I love that the cartoon is back on Tubi. So if you loved the cartoon back in the day, you can catch it on Tubi.
Now, you see, there's my problem with you. You just went off on how Winona Ryder was acting out of character. From what I understand, in the cartoon, her and Beetlejuice are like best friends, which is not in character for her character.
The cartoon is far more enjoyable than the sequel.
Josh Ramirez says something here that, to be fair, the first hour of the original was boring. I don't think it was boring. I think they were actually establishing all the characters and the storyline, whereas in this, it was like 87 things happening, most of which don't have a payoff of any value. Whereas the first one, like, the characters were good. Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin are freaking amazing.
They are so missed in this movie because they're grounded, and those are the people you can relate to.
Exactly.
There's no one. If you can relate to anybody in this movie, you are fucked in the head.
I think it's supposed to be Jenna Ortega. I think, but she's not really the main character in the same way. I don't know. It just,
no.
Again, I feel like this is one of those movies where I left the theater thinking I had fun with that, and I'm going to spend the whole time bitching about how it should have been so much better than it was.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is we have flipped here because you guys are nitpicking about a movie that you should just be able to turn your brain off and enjoy, and which is exactly what I did but never do. And so it's weird to me how we're taking a movie that's just brainless. For me, it was a visual experience. I didn't pay such close attention to that. This thing never pays off. There's too much written about this character. Each character, yeah, I get that, but each character did for me bring some kind of fun. The chick being put together, and then the line, you look, whatever Michael Keaton said or Beetlejuice said to her was really funny at the end. You look put together, or something like that.
Yeah.
But each character, and then the whole Willem Dafoe thing with the, actually just being an actor. To me, it was just a visual, fun ride. I didn't really do what I usually do. You guys did that, looks like.
But maybe because I'm a fan of the first movie. I thoroughly enjoyed the first film. So this was like, story-wise, it's just a big letdown. Like everything in the first movie paid off. Like it's weird and strange, but the writing is solid in the first film.
Yeah. There's so much going on for not much going on.
I'm more in Chad's side.
Noise, but little actual meat. It's weird.
Okay, so like, what was Monica Bellucci trying to do? She was trying to get Beetlejuice, but he said something about for devil worship. That was literally the extent of what we knew about her. It was like I don't understand what she's trying to do in this movie.
I can't.
Revenge. She had a vendetta. I'm not. I think from the get-go, she was. Even when they got married, she wasn't a great person, right?
No, and neither was he. He was a grave robber.
It was just strange.
But they were still married, so I thought that part of her still being his wife would carry through to this thing.
Right, like he can't actually marry Lydia because he's still married. No.
Right.
Nope.
And the soul-sucking thing, I don't know.
Let's just get the spoilers so we can...
It was a cool effect. The soul-sucking was a cool effect. The way they shriveled up.
It was great.
That's cool, where they look like a milk box when you crush it. But
Let me tell you something.
She gets nothing from the soul sucking. Like I thought that would help drive her, and that she's trying to find him. No,
the scene where she puts herself together to tragedy was awesome.
That was fantastic.
Mm.
Yeah,
Her
she'd
Danny
been just the
DeVito
villain
tragedy.
of the whole movie. That would have been great.
Yeah, she should have been more of the villain because now that we're in spoilers, what's his name? Justin Theroux.
Yeah.
Who emerges as the villain later in the movie.
One of
He's
three.
Such a
4 or 5.
He's such a like stock villain for movies like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although he has maybe I don't want to say the funniest, one of the funniest moments in the movie when he's like, I will never dig pills out of the trash for you again, and then gives her one and takes one himself real quick. That was funny.
I laughed at that. The lone laugh.
He was very funny. I thought he was like for at least the first like half hour, to me he was kind of a steam sealer because everything that came out of his mouth was so superficial, and you knew that this guy is not a good person, and he was hilarious, I thought.
And meanwhile, the mother was superficial, but I didn't enjoy her at all.
You didn't like Catherine O'Hara? I thought she was phenomenal in this movie.
I feel like her character switched with the Lydia character though, because in the first movie she was dumb, she was gullible, she fell for everything because she wanted to be famous, and Lydia didn't give a shit about any of that crap. And in this movie, their characters were reversed.
No, that's true.
And but I don't know why. It was just, I don't know. It was
Because
strange.
Lydia did say recognize the fact that she sold out. So, but you get older and you change and you need money, I guess.
True that. You start doing Creepy Couch.
Yeah, you start selling your body on YouTube.
OnlyFans, here we come.
I think you're right, Chad. I think these guys got to.
Think
Both
it too
of them are
hard.
not drinking tonight. They need to have
It
a
just
drink.
wasn't fun. It wasn't fun
Been
enough.
drinking the whole time, fool.
Boom.
I disagree. I actually did have fun with this. It's just, I think the first one is this bizarre classic, and I don't think this one is because the writing was shit, and the writing in the first one was good.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to fight with you about it because I thought it was fine, but I didn't
fun.
think it was anything great. But compared to a lot of other of these sequels to older movies, it's way better than a lot. And the one I came to mind to me was Hocus Pocus, which I love Hocus Pocus, and the sequel to it was garbage. And this I felt was like, oh, that was a bit decent 30-year later sequel. You know, like I wasn't offended when I left.
But it wasn't just a straight up remake, which I want to give it credit for. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't just a beat for beat remake of the original with just new characters.
Yeah, like The Force Awakens.
Right. It wasn't like that. So I'll give it credit there.
Should be
Even
a
though they brought in the
sell-by date.
sandworm at the end the same way. I was like, why?
Wait, you didn't like the sandworm?
I love the sandworms. I just hated
okay.
how it was literally the same thing that happened in the first movie.
Yeah, but I liked how they didn't make the sand because, like, oh, we've got better technology now. We can make this sandworm look like something out of Dune. I liked it. It looked like the sandworm.
It looked like shit, yeah.
They did take. I would say, man, I might not be wrong if I were to say 100% of everything that was used in the original, and they put it in this, and they, everything from the stuff coming out of the face to the bridge to the sculptures to. I feel like the only thing that wasn't in this movie was the little pastor guy that married them, but stuff thrown over their mouths. Everything was used, and for some reason it didn't like that banana song, but it didn't bother me. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. People want to see this, so they're gonna give it to us. But it didn't bother me. Usually,
the 3 musical numbers in this made the movie for me. With the tragedy, I love that song. I love that sequence. The Soul Train stuff, I was laughing my butt off whenever they were doing that. Do a disco zombie thing, I'm in. And then listen, MacArthur Park at the end.
I just prefer Donna Summer singing it.
Well, they played that at the credits, and I don't prefer that. I prefer the Richard Harris version. When I got to college, I discovered that song, and there were so many drunken nights where somebody just put that on, and we sang that song. So I was like, this is made for me.
The Donna Summer version is more upbeat, which I think would have fit the mania going on in that church, where I thought the Richard Harris version, I'm like, that's more heavy, perfect for a bunch of drunk schmucks in a bar.
See, I thought the way they did it was perfect. They played hers at the end of the credits.
Yeah, I was glad they did that.
Real quick before we get out of here, what did you guys think of the way they handled the Jeffrey Jones character, who was great in the first movie?
I couldn't believe he was in it as much as he was.
Me too. I couldn't believe they used his likeness at all, and I thought
couldn't
they
believe
handled
they
it.
used his likeness.
I
did appreciate that they kill him right away and they have him bit in half, so he's just like a bleeding artery the whole movie. Like I liked that, but they kept showing his picture, and I was like,
on the
you
grave,
just put him in the
on
movie
the shark
because of what he did.
fin tombstone, which is awesome.
It was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was first he was Clay, and then when they did actually have him as a real character in there, his head is gone because it's been bitten off. So I thought it was handled great.
I had to explain to my girls the reason for that.
Yeah,
because they were like, "Where? Why?" I'm like, they said, "Is he dead?" Well, to the world, yes, but
the other thing I really loved in this movie, which as horror fans, the Mario Bava tips of the cap that they did, like Beetlejuice's origin story with his wife.
Yeah,
that was spectacular. That scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was really cool. Like, Jason, you nailed it. She should have been the villain.
Yeah, she should have been the whole time. The dude in the
movie.
treehouse and all that shit should not have been a part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, pick one. Just pick one villain, and then have Beetlejuice come in and fuck shit up.
Yeah, by the way, if you pick one villain and cut out all this other shit, you have more time for actual Beetlejuice.
And Monica Bellucci easily could have tricked, what's her name, into the afterlife.
Oh, yeah, Jen Ortega, of course. She was misguided, angry youth. Yeah. Very pliable. So, like I said, I wish it was better. Like, I enjoyed part of it, but It was
I
all
liked
right.
it. I just didn't love it, and I wanted to love it. That's my biggest complaint. That's why I just spent a half an hour bitching about it.
I'm gonna watch the cartoon now.
I think I felt the same as Jason, but I'm just more positive.
Oh, good for you, Jack.
Because I didn't go in with any expectations, and I was like, that was fun. I'm soaking wet.
The biggest shock of all is Mr. Lutsky over here.
Yeah, he went to the movie and
Blown
was the
away.
most chill.
Liked
Blown
it the
away.
most. I think we should end the show forever right here. This is
Drop
it.
the
This
mic.
is the apex of Final Guy.
Like that.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, done. Next week's movie is Dead Space. And I just mean not the movie, Dead Space. We don't know what we're going to do next week. We'll announce it at some point. So follow us on the twits and the tweets and the grams or whatever. And you'll find out ahead of time. And until next time, give us some reviews somewhere. Like and subscribe. Smash a button. Smash your computer. Whatever. And see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Game over.